Today's lesson is about comparing different types of numbers. So we're going to take what we've done with square roots and cube roots and different types of numbers like that and just start comparing them, and rounding is going to be pretty important. Um, excuse me. To begin, you guys have learned this before, but as a refresher, you're going to see percents in this lesson. You're going to see them a lot in math. In order to convert a percent to a decimal, you want to move the decimal place 2 places to the left. So what that means is if I have 18%, remember 18%, the number is 18, that's what you're focusing on. Your decimal place is technically right here. So if you move that 2 places to the left, 1, 2, that's how I got my answer, technically your 0.18. So that's the decimal equivalent to 18%. So if you look at these following problems, we have 17%. Well, my decimal is right here, so 1, 2 to the left, that means I'm at 0.17. For number 2, 83%, my decimal is right here. I'm going to move it 2 to the left, and it's 0.83. Okay. For number 3, I'm looking at 18.4%, so I can go right to where my decimal place is, move it 2 to the left. I am at 0.184. Don't forget the 4. Obviously, when we're converting from percentages to decimals, you drop the percent sign. For number 4, 162%, well, my decimal is right here because there isn't one. It's just like number 1 and number 2. So it's here, but when I move it 2 to the left, I'm not all the way over. I'm between the 1 and the 6, so 1.62. So if you do that each time for number 5, you're down here. Your decimal is right there. So if I move it 2 to the left, I'm at 1.00. Well, 1.00, remember you don't need to do the zero, so you can just write 1. For number 6, your decimal point is right here, 361%. Move it to the left, and you're at 3.61. For number 7, your decimal point is here. So now you want to think back to scientific notation. If I move it 2 to the left, I have an empty space. So I have 0.0119. For number 8, if I move it 2 to the left, 1, 2, now I have 0.0037. Okay, so whenever you're converting a percent to a decimal, you always move the decimal 2 places to the left. Okay, so we're going to have to use that today in order to compare. Now, here, we have all different types of numbers. We have square roots, we're going to have cubed roots, we have mixed numbers, we have fractions, and we have decimals. So we're going to have to do some converting on some of these so that they're in the same, and then it says use greater than, less than, or equal to make a true statement. Remember, you guys, this eats the bigger number. So whatever the big number is, you want it to be open to the big number. Okay, so you're going to have to use your calculator here. The square root of 7 is 2.646, let's say. Okay. Well, 2 2/3, if you convert that in your calculator to a decimal, now you're looking at 2.6 repeating. So which one's bigger? Well, 2.6 repeating is technically 2.66. So if you look at these, this is 2.64, this is 2.66. So everything's the same until we hit the 4 and the 6. And the 6 is bigger, so this is technically your bigger number, so it's going to point that way. Okay. For number 10, 15.7%, you're going to move it to the left, so you have 0.157. And then over here, use your calculator. The square root of 0.02 is 0.1414. Well, 0.15 and 0.14, again, you go to when it's not the same. The ones are the same, so then you look at the 5 and the 4. The 5 is bigger, so this is bigger. Same thing over here. The square root of 11, so I'm just converting all these to decimals, is 3.3166. And then 3 1/3, if you convert that to a decimal, is 3.3 repeating. So 3.33, so on and so forth, right? Forever and ever and ever. So again, you keep looking. 3 is the same. The 0.3 is the same. It's the second number that's different. And this one's bigger, so this is my bigger number. Okay. For number 12, you don't need to convert 4.03. You just need to look at the square root of 17. Well, the square root of 17 is 4.12. So which one's bigger? Well, 4.03, 4.12, the 1 is bigger, so this is bigger. Okay. 250%, move that decimal place 2 to the left, and you're left with 2.5. The square root of 6.25 is 2.5, even. So they're the exact same, because you don't need to round either of those, so those are equal. For number 14, the square root of 15 is 3.873. You don't need to convert 3.5. Well, 3.5 and 3.8, which one's bigger? The 8 is bigger than the 5, so you're going to point this way. For number 15, pay attention to the fact that this is the cubed root of 125. If you do the cubed root of 125 in your calculator, you get 5. If you do the square root of 25 in your calculator, you also get 5. So they're dead even, and it's equal. In number 16, the square root of 225 is 1.5. If you convert 150%, you're going to move it to the left 2 places. So you have 1.5, 1.5, and they're equal. Okay. The last one, this is 2.4 repeating. So 2.444444 forever and ever, right? And the square root of 6.2 is 2.489. Well, the first number that's different is this one right here. The 8 is bigger, so we're going to go that way. Okay, so when you're doing these on your homework, you want to convert everything to decimals, and then you want to compare, and you have to just keep going until something's different. That's why you see me writing it all out. Some of them are going to be really close, so if you're just trying to guess and not write anything down, it's going to be hard for you. Okay, so once you're done, you can show me your notes or show this up your notes, and then you'll get your worksheet, and as soon as you're done with your worksheet, you can check it in, and you're done for the day.